Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel and to another session of podcast where we talk about specific things and me giving all unprofessional advice, which is correlates and actually came from my own experiences as a human being. And what I what I wanted to talk about tonight is about authenticity. Did I say that right? Authenticity and be unapologetically authentic you. Like actually stepping to this other area of yourself and be the real you. And I'm going to also talk about my YouTube journey as of now. But before all of that, I hate to talk about myself now, but before all of that, I wanted to say thank you for everyone who subscribed, which is, we gained another subscriber, guys. We gained 100 subscriber, and I know it's just a number, but if you really think about it, 100 people watching your channel and actually like your content or whatever you're saying, or like, I don't know, maybe curious, it's just euphoric. I remember having 5 subscriber when I uploaded my very first video here. And you know the feeling when someone appreciates what you are doing, like, and also, like, I feel like they see me as who I am, as who really I am. Like, I'm not performing, I'm just expressing the real me. And it feels euphoric and blissful to have that. So thank you guys for subscribers. I know it's just a number, but like it really means a lot to me. And yeah, and now I'm going to share another podcast so that we can help each other to, maybe you are now watching because you also strive, aspire to be authentic or to actually explore yourself, whatever it is. But it is just me expressing myself and actually just sharing my own experiences. And I know, I don't make videos for you all to like completely agree with me. I'm just here to just express my human experience, my thoughts, and me just being human. So let's get into it. So I wanted to start by sharing my experience with this endeavor, which is the YouTube. I know that is just a tool, but it really means a lot to me. So basically, I really love intuition. It really it really saves me a lot. It really helps me a lot. It really make me so, what's the term? It makes me so mindful with everything, like to actually just think before doing something. Like, intuition is actually useful in many ways, but it depends on context. So I started YouTube out of intuition. Like, I didn't really plan it like 1 year ahead or whatever. I'm just like really interested on what is the thing that I can do or capable, and what is the kind of tool that I can use so that people can relate to it, can also like be heard or feel heard and seen. I mean, like, what is the right tool for that? And I think I was like, Oh, I actually kind of like and wanted to try expressing my thoughts on YouTube, and just out of intuition. And like I was like just plan everything, like buy this microphone, but it is just cheap microphone. So if you're planning on starting something, I would really recommend that you s- you start on just cheap um cheap electronics devices that you can use for your endeavor, whatever it is. Because what's the most important is like to just start. And if you have like a privilege or money to like actually buy a more detailed or pricey electronics and devices for your endeavor, it is fine. But the most important part is not the tools that you are using. I mean, like, they are also important, but the most important part here is to start. But actually, I'm saying to start as if it's like easy, but it's not. It's not easy, guys. I have so many things to face before I actually get here. Get here. I mean, like, it's not easy to start, but you needed to start. You needed to face your flaw, face your fear, and everything. Like, especially when you have this fear to be seen or face the camera or to express yourself, or if you feel like you needed to actually still grasp and work towards your skill on expressing yourself, like I feel like I lose track on what I am saying. So the first part of this video is just all about why intuition is important and why starting is important when it comes to pursuing your creative endeavor. Like me, I'm pursuing YouTube creatively. And when I started it, just as I say earlier, when I started it, I came to the final boss of myself to because like I have this thought that I think it is so easy to just start because like if you're going to actually watch these YouTubers or people who do podcasts also, when you're watching them on YouTube, it's as if it's easy to talk, it's easy to research what you're going to talk in the front of the camera. But like when you actually do it now, when you actually start and like literally you're in the position of like doing it, like you're in now in the process, it's not easy. You're going to face your authentic self, your true self, your your self that is buried subconsciously, like fear, flaw, insecurities. You need to like get through with that before actually like comfortable starting something. And yeah, like for me starting is not that easy because like yeah, I'm going to share this. I fear that people will judge me if I talk in the front of camera and actually sharing my voice and thoughts and self-expression to the world. I feel like somewhere or like soon as I always have this anxiety that soon as there is someone or like group of people who are going to judge me or like cancel me. Like that's my biggest fear. But I actually reflect on that. I actually work on that for like I think just 2 days. I journal about it. I need to admit to myself that that is my fear. That's what stopping me from being my authentic self. And I was like, if I'm going to just think about these imaginative people or these people like a threat, like Or actually, maybe that's just like anxiety. But if you're going to actually think about it in realistic world of content creating, it's inevitable. It's inevitable to people to not judge you. It's inevitable to people to not say mean things to you, even though you don't even do something to them. It's inevitable. Like, I'm being just realistic here. And I was like, if I'm going to be controlled, and if I'm going to be controlled by these people in the future, or I don't know, maybe they can happen anytime, I'm just going to spend my life forever not doing what I love. Like stopping myself for expressing because I fear being judged. I fear being seen. I fear that in some ways, soonest or sooner, sooner or soonest, they can have something to say to me, even worse, meanest words. And that's my fear. That's my fear, and I say to myself that I wouldn't be controlled by that fear. It's ugly, it's awful, it's uncomfortable to feel, but you needed to admit to yourself that that is your fear, that is what's stopping you from being your authentic self, from doing the things that you love, from expressing yourself, from being yourself. You need to admit what you fear. You need to admit and to own your own insecurities so that people wouldn't judge you anymore for that. And I'm so sorry for my voice, but I feel like it it gets tired. My voice gets tired. On being authentically you, I just strike this pose. I'm so sorry. So on being authentically you, authentically, I don't know if I pronounce it right, but like authentically, yeah, authentically you. On being authentically you, it also will introduce you to another version of yourself. There is kind of version of yourself that you still didn't know, that is actually buried on your subconscious. Psychologically, yeah. So my experiences when I actually started this kind of endeavor is that it actually introduced me to another version of myself where I didn't know that it is actually exists, that is existing in a very first place. So that kind of version of myself is that I feel guilty resting. Number one, I feel guilty resting. Number two, I feel guilty and like have this kind of hatred to myself if I don't pass to my deadlines, because like I have personal deadlines. Like, I needed to like research about what I'm going to talk about so that it's going to be intellectual in some ways, and then proceed to this another step where I'm going to film the podcast and like edit and then upload, you know? And then I feel guilty. I feel this kind of hatred to myself when I don't submit to this kind of deadline that I put myself into, which is so unrealistic. Which is just telling myself that, oh, in many ways I am hard on myself. So you're going to also realize that you are hard to yourself, you hate yourself, you don't love yourself enough, that you are not authentic as ever. Or are you performing shit like that? But yeah, but some of the thoughts are just actually sabotaging thoughts. You're going to like identify what is sabotaging thoughts between realistic thoughts. I'm off track. So yeah. And then yeah, I'm going to share that I have this like trait and another version of myself that I fall into despair and I cry a lot, hard at that. I cry a lot when I can't or fail to submit to my personal deadline. Like I'm going to like go into spiral and like think about, oh, I'm not going to be successful in this kind of endeavor. Like, oh, I'm such a failure. Like now you're a failure. Why won't you stop? So yeah, that's the sabotaging thoughts. But actually, I practice to not listen to them now because I identify, notice, observe that they are not that beneficial. That sometimes they're helpful, the sabotaging thoughts, sometimes and most of the times they are not that beneficial. So I stop listening to them. I feel like I'm off track of this topic, but yeah. So the main point is it is hard. It is hard when you are pursuing something, to starting something, but it actually pays off. It actually pays off, and the cost of everything that you do, the cost of you pursuing whatever that you pursuing in whatever kind of endeavor is your authentic self. That okay, I finally realized that this is my authentic self. That this is me, that I love myself even though I finally introduced to my flawed, insecure, ugly parts of myself. But in the end of the day, you're going to just love everything about yourself, even though the ugly parts. So yeah, even though it's hard, it's actually personally for me, it it is actually fulfilling to do something, to create, especially to create. It it fulfills something in me. I feel like it's like a sole purpose. So if you're afraid or still having this fear of starting something or like planning to create like these videos, why not? Like do it. You only live once. Like everyone is saying that you only live once, but no shit. No shit. It's true. The tomorrow is never promised to us, guys. And why not? What's stopping you? You need to identify what's stopping you before anything else. Just like I say earlier, what's stopping me is the fear of judgment, the fear that people soon as will come to me for just doing this. But like, I know that you can overcome that because I overcome this. And I don't know your circumstances, and if you're watching this, I'm really curious what you are going through right now and where where part of you for your self improvement. Like what's your what's something that is having what is something that's stopping you from being your authentic self? What's this? Like insecurity, flaws, people, whatever, or yourself. Let me know in the comment and I would love to actually talk with you all guys about it. So yeah. So I'm going to move on with the advices, unprofessional advices with this topic because I finally introduced my personal experiences in pursuing this endeavor. So yeah, let's move on. Actually, it is actually like I read in everything that I'm talking about here, and it is on the laptop. So actually, my voice can change. I don't know. So we are on, yeah, like trust your voice. Why you needed to trust your voice. So let's go back. What I'm saying earlier is that it's important to trust your voice, trust your thoughts and expression to be your authentic self. And like don't feel sorry for that. And like to what I'm going to share is that it is also important to take up space, to not feel sorry for taking up space. You know what I mean by taking up space? To create, to unapologetically creating, to pour your thoughts, emotions, and expression in one endeavor. For example, it's a painting. You're going to put your ideas, thoughts, original thoughts, expression into a canvas. So yeah, that's my own definition of taking up space. You don't need to feel sorry for that because like you deserve that. I feel like there's there's so many. Oh, I'm so sorry. I posting this like sitting this like this. Wait, I feel like there's a lot of creative that is still feel sorry for taking up space, for creating, in whatever reasons. Maybe they are deeply rooted from themselves, self expression, or actually the fear of judgment, or any other aspects of it, like financially, also. It's possible because we as creative, we don't have this like financial freedom yet. And yes, it also hard to be a creative in this capitalistic society, especially when you don't have this financial freedom yet, right? So yeah, after. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is have an end in mind. And like have an end in mind and to know what's your purpose in the very first place, why you are starting this, why you started in the very first place, or what do you want to gain from this process of this all. So let's say, right, let me become the example of this. Like this. In the very first place, I started YouTube out of instinct, right? Intuition. But like when I finally like in the process of creating and uploading and here being in YouTube, I was like, what is the real purpose? Why I am still doing this? Actually reflect and know what's your purpose and on why you were doing this in the very first place, or why you started this in the very first place. Because I believe that if you are in the process, especially you're in the process of creating something while pursuing your creative endeavor, right? You're going to face so many obstacles and challenges in the process. And don't get me wrong by that. Because like I'm in the process of that. There's so many obstacles and challenges, like as if your self-sabotaging thoughts, they're going to say, oh, you needed to stop because this is so hard. Like I feel like you can't do it. Like you can't succeed with this, or like you can't attain greatness by this endeavor. And like that's the thoughts that actually going to stop you. But just obviously they are sabotaging thoughts. But what I'm meaning to say is that if you if you truly know what is your purpose, what is your sole purpose, why you started that kind of creative endeavor, that that kind of art or profession, when you finally face obstacles and challenges, you're going to be undefeated and unstoppable. Because like if you if you face obstacles and challenges in the process, you're just going to think and percept that obstacles and challenges as a challenges or obstacles. But back in the day, I was like, oh, these are so hard. This is the problems. Like, I just have this like mindset. I just have this mindset shift. Like, if I can't think about this as a problem, I need to think about it as a challenge. Like mindset shift, but really, no joking, no kidding. It actually helps me a lot. What I'm saying is, if you are in the process of this facing obstacles, small inconvenience, challenges, you're going to be undefeated and unstoppable for the reason that you have this like thought in the back of your head that this is not the right time. This is not the time that I'm going to stop by this time. Because you have this thought in the back of your head that I need to succeed by this before stopping because everything is just obstacles and challenges. So why would I stop? And that's the benefit if you have the sole purpose or like reason why you started it. What I am saying, so this is new topic that still correlates with this. Choose your heart. Choose your heart. Like if you think about it, if you reflect with everything that you get through in the past, you're going to perceive every I mean, you're going to perceive everything as hard, right? In that in any other way it is hard. Like there's no thing that is easy to do unless it's not payable or what I'm saying is that everything is hard, so choose your heart. Like for example, I'm going to pursue this another 4 years of course, which is a hard course, but like in the very first place, why would I wanted to start this course again, this college again? Because I wanted to like have a job that correlates with it. Like I have this career pathway that correlates with it. So I'm seeing this end in mind that is there. So yeah. And like everything is hard, so choose your heart. I think it's more beneficial if you were in the part of your life where you endure pain, tiredness, whatever it is, or challenges or obstacles, but still you are in that area of your life where you love what you do, right? Of this creative endeavor like podcast, I have this like kind of playlist on YouTube where it's like more motivational, like how much they say in that video on the playlist, like how much will you want to endure, how much will you suffer for it until you get succeeded on it, right? Like how much will you endure, how much will you suffer, because like in doing what you love, the cost of that is enduring pain, tiredness, obstacles, and challenges. But it also pays you with the price of greatness, discipline, self improvement, self mastery, and you just striving in whatever that you wanted to pursue creatively. Like everything has this area of their career that is hard. There also their area of their career that is striving. Like it's always balance. It always balance. What I wanted to say is that everything is hard, so choose whatever you wanted to do, and especially that doing is what you love. You know, I feel like my grammar is wrong. Like what I say is that whatever you do, choose what you love, because like everything is hard. Everything has this obstacles, challenges, endurance on pain, tiredness, on your mentality, and how much will you suffer for it? Like really, right? Like how much will you endure for it? And voice is really tired now, and I hope you all have this kind of like intellectual learning from me. I try my best to actually articulate my thoughts to make them into this tool area of the internet. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for always listening to my expression, for my thoughts on my voice. Thank you for trusting my voice, and I hope you all stick